working in a 2010 GL450 with the AIRMATIC suspension. And the what I was noticing is my car was tilting either to the front left a little bit, or every so often the front suspension would drop. Sometimes it would take 3 days, sometimes it would take an hour. I close the door and I hear it relieving pressure, and then it would lower a little bit. I'd come out the next morning and sometimes the front end would be sitting low. So like everybody suggested, the first thing of course, as I suspected, was the airbags. And the previous owner had replaced them, both front airbags. So after spraying it with bubbles, I found that there's no wear on them. There is no cracking, no dry rotting, and no bubbles coming out of them. So my next kind of step was to try replacing the valve block, which is right here. You can see this is the original Mercedes valve block. And my thinking behind that was that if the seals inside had failed, if the car wasn't, when the car was shut off, the solenoids would close, but the seals wouldn't stay sealed. And they would slowly allow the air to escape. And also my thoughts were that it wouldn't keep even pressure on all the air shocks. So again, I thought that maybe because the seals wouldn't be closing fully. Here's what I found when I took the wheel off, took the fender flare off. I immediately could see all my hoses right here. 5 hoses, 1 to the reservoir and 1 to each of the airbags for the suspension. Right over here I saw my compressor, and right up there I saw my valve block. So just so you guys know, if you guys are going to look at your car, explore this a little bit, this is what you'll see when you take off the fender liner. Now, one thing I've noticed is right here, I took the hose clamp off, but you can see how broken this hose is, and this was actually ripped off of the compressor. Now, this is the compressor intake. Be very mindful of that, because if the compressor sucks air through here, it's going to start sucking in a lot of dust, which will make its way into the valve block, and then it's going to start clogging seals and wearing the seals out inside. If you follow this hose up, this is a maintenance item. If you follow this hose up, right behind here, behind the other half of the fender liner, you're going to see a filter. Now, I will show you what this looks like. It just clips in right here. And mine's already removed off the compressor. But this hose, which is very dry rotted, goes up to the filter and then makes a loop where it sucks in the air. And this filter is directional, and I will show you guys the filter model. It's a Monfilter WK32-7. Sorry, / WK32/7. This is a maintenance item. Keep that in mind after so many miles. It is a directional filter, and this is a suction line. This is where the filter sucks the air through. The compressor sucks the air through. Replace this filter every so often. All right, and then put it back together. There's one nut right there that holds the whole compressor assembly, and 2 bolts that will be underneath the bumper, the bumper support, which you can access by just climbing under the car and going up there. You can see the compressor actually holds on springs, kind of like vibration isolators. That way it's not going to vibrate throughout your whole frame. All right, I hope that helps. Another thing I've also noticed on my suspension previously is these little sensors right here with the little arm on it is suspension height sensors. And at one point mine were really corroded on there that they didn't move, and then the car could not sense the height of the suspension. So take care with that as well. Take off, sand it down, put some NSCs on that, and you should avoid a lot of issues with your AIRMATIC. Also be mindful of this hose where the compressor sucks in the air, because you will destroy your valve block. Hope that helps, and thank you very much.